Good morning, coaches. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about organization. And this is something that's really, really important in your Beachbody business for a lot of reasons. And I'm sure some of you are already kind of figuring out why. So as you're reaching out to people, hopefully already daily, inviting, building relationships in your messages, like your Hey Girl messages, following up with people who have expressed an interest in one of your posts or in what you're doing in a program, in a product, the invitation to a challenge group that you've posted. You want to be able to keep them all straight because you know that sometimes someone will say to you, I'm interested, and then you don't hear back from them for a couple days, and it's like, when do I follow up? Which I covered a little bit in the video on following up. But you want to be able to kind of write down in your calendar, like follow up with this person on this day, or if you have a document that you're working off of for the week that you use each week, kind of track your business. You want to be able to say, okay, like she didn't answer me on Tuesday, I'm going to follow up with her on Friday, and write that down so that you don't forget come Friday. Because, one of the hardest things about this business is that we log into our power hour and we're like, okay, I only have 1 hour, ready, set, go. And then we get kind of frazzled and we're like, oh goodness, like what do I do first? And sometimes we wind up getting distracted on social media or, just kind of doing other things. And then wondering where our power hour went and not doing those vital things. So it's important to help you stay on track, to have a system of organization to keep you on track in your power hour, and then also to be able to be tracking your business as you go. So obviously when you signed up as a coach, I sent you a welcome email. And it had like a 7-day business quick start. And that's a good thing to start with to get organized. And I sent you that About Me questionnaire. But also, I believe the business activity tracker was on there. And if it was not, it's in the back office. And if you go under like training, the training section, there's all kinds of tools. And the business activity tracker is under there. And you can print that off. So people call it the BAT, the BAT. And they use that to track their business. I've recently uploaded to our team page one that you can find. It's a Beachbody Coach daily checklist, and it kind of looks something like this, and that's from more of a top or elite coach, and she put the things in gray that she has to do every day, like do the morning workout and inspirational posts, and she checks when she does that. Reading or listening to 10 minutes of personal development, check when she does that, inviting 5 to 10 people daily to the challenge group, messaging people, adding 5 people to our network. And so she'll check those off. And then any leftover time she gets to, she goes down to these things that are not in gray, like listening to the team wake-up call, reviewing the breaking coach news in the back office, recognizing coach achievements on our team and the top producers for the week, celebrating a coach or a fitness challenger. And so that's a good way to stay organized. You can search for these things. I actually found this on YouTube. I watched a video about staying organized in the business because I was struggling to find a new way to stay organized that would work for me. What I was trying wasn't working. And I found this underneath the video. She had mentioned in the video that she would share the link below, and then I found it. I was able to go to it and print it. So a lot of the top coaches and things, there's so much information out there at your fingertips. So you can just try to find different things that will work for you. And sometimes they're not going to work, but at least you tried, and then you'll figure out what isn't working and what is, and then you'll find something else. I like at the top of here, she put my working hours and then put like 9:30 to 1 on Monday, 9:30 to 1, on Saturday, 7 to 8 a.m. So she barely works on the weekends. On Sunday, she's off. And so the majority of her work is Monday through Friday. And it's only for 4 hours, but she's working the business more full time. So everybody's is different. It might be that your power hour is happening late at night in the evening or at nap time or at lunchtime. And that's fine. You find what works for you. So helping you stay organized, I would stress figuring out your business hours for the week ahead, looking at your to-dos and what you've got going on with your kids and scheduling your work time around your family. If you're a stay-at-home mom, it's probably gonna be different every week. Once you are, when your kids are in school, things like that, you have more solid time that you can work in when you're working the business more full time. But for now, I would try to schedule in that hour a day and know you're going to do it. Then how to stay organized once you're in the business, once you're working your power hour, I recommend using a power of 3s document. I've created mine as a power of 5s because I always try to reach out to even more people now every day. But what it is it's a document that looks like this. I'm going to re-upload it below this video, and it's in our file sections of both the Can't Stop Won't Stop team page and my personal Fit with Faith. And this has things like friends, so you're adding 3 to 5 friends to your network, and you could write their names in here. Messages, invitations, like that you're inviting people, following up. And then there's some check-ins, checking in with your challenge group, your free groups if you've got one going on, sneak peeks like the coach sneak peek or a challenge group sneak peek, team page, Coach Basics training, the back office. And then writing down your Facebook posts so you know that you've made 3 posts at least in the day, and your coach invitation. Hopefully one time a day you're sharing the business opportunity with somebody or reaching out to them about it. and the National Wake Up Call or personal development, what you've done. And then I put the shake and the workout at the bottom. Mine happened to get cut off when I printed them. I'm a pen and paper girl. So for a really long time, I have been using something called Google Drive, and I'm going to share my screen now. I'm going to show you what that is. But I recently went back to pen and paper, and I'm hoping that it helps me stay a little bit more organized, because it's something that I feel like I will show you what I've been doing with the Google Drive, and then I will kind of explain to you. So you've got to kind of just figure out what's for you. Another big piece of organization is, so when you go under Gmail, if you have a Gmail account, you're going to go up here to this little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 square thing and drop down to Drive. And when I first heard about this was empty. There was nothing here. So you would see a big blank white screen, and over here in the corner was all I saw. My Drive shared with me Google. I had no idea what it was. And my coach shared this with me, and it's been very, very helpful. So all of these up here at the top are folders I've created. So in 2015 is when I signed up for a coach. I've got a folder that I have a lot of Power of Threes documents. And then in 2016 when I did, so we're obviously in 2016 right now, and this helps me stay more organized in my business and work efficiently. I went through, and you can see I've been bad about it in June and July so far, because I switched over to doing it by hand. And we'll see, I might need to go back and update in here. But what I would do is, let's say in January, my coach shared with me that she was doing for every month, potential customers, and she would write down anybody who was interested in the program but maybe didn't purchase. So she knew she could reference back later and look back at who they were, what they were interested in, why they didn't choose to purchase at that time. And it gives her, and when they want her to follow up with them, if they do, so that she could, then use that as a way to track and go back in the future. And she also had one for the Power of Threes for that month. And then, people who have actually purchased, to be able to keep track of that. So let's say, where was the January Power of Threes. So here, if you have, if I open this up, I had January 1st to the 8th, January, 11th to the 17th, the 18th to the 24th, and the 25th to the 31st. So that was my 4 weeks of January. And this was how I tracked my business that month. And so I had a Power of Threes document. And what I would do is I would just manually input this. And the cool thing about Google Drive is it's accessible from your cell phone, your computer, laptop, iPads. So you can be in the car at your kids, waiting in a carpool line, and log in for 5 or 10 minutes and do some work and still be able to update it and access your Power of Threes and access this. So this is how I stay organized in the business. And so that I would know, the following month or a couple weeks later, I could look back and be like, oh yeah, she was interested. I should follow up with her. What I didn't like is that I wasn't making notes on why this person was ready to purchase or why they weren't when they wanted me to follow up. Then I would go to my calendar, and I have a planner for the year of 2016. And I try to write down in the calendar my team calls, my groups for the month, this, that, and the other. I would write down when to follow up with people for their Shakeology shipments, when it's going to reship. So that I know I don't want them to get charged if they don't want it. So I do my weekly reminders. So I write down, let's say they sign up today, then I know that in 7 days, I'm going to follow up with them and see how they're liking the shake, if they have any questions, if they found a good recipe, or if they need help with that. On day 14, I'm going to be following up and saying, are you noticing some of the benefits of the shake yet? And then at that 21-day, 23-day mark, I'm going to let them know that their shipment is kind of approaching. Ask them if they want to change the flavor. If they're not a discount coach, I'm going to ask them if they're interested in drinking it for cheaper next month. And so I need to know when to follow up with them so I don't miss it. My problem became that I was stopping looking back at those, my agenda, and I would miss them. So maybe 3 or 4 days would go by and I'd be busy or sick or whatever it was, and wouldn't look at the agenda, and I would miss following up with somebody that I needed to. So a lot of people now, the coaches set their phone, and they do alarms on their phone, and they kind of track that stuff. So an alarm will go off Monday morning, hey, follow up with this person, that person, that person. So you need to find what works for you. And there are so many different systems and things out there for Beachbody coaches. So just Google, hold on 1 second. Oh, okay. Thank you, buddy. So you need to just find what organizational system will work for you based on if you're pen and paper, if you're good with electronics, and do some research on what, the top coaches are using, and just get a feel for what works for you. And again, you're only going to learn by trial and error, by just trying something and seeing if it's working. But any step in the right direction with organization is going to be huge for you. So as I said, you just want to have some kind of a document like this that you either use here in Google Drive or print up. Then you can use that to go through on your power hour. And I found that when I have this in front of me, I'd be like, okay, fill it in, fill it in, fill it in. I would go boom, boom, boom down the list, and I would be much more effective as I knew I just needed to check all these things off and fill them in that hour that I had to work my business. The last thing I'm going to say about organization is that it really helps to have everything that you need for talking with people, conversations, scripts, program recommendations, challenge group pictures, challenge group scripts, everything kind of in one spot. So you'll notice that I also have advertisements, and I save ads so that if I need to throw up a coach sneak peek ad, that I quickly have one that I can throw up and just use PicMonkey real quick to change the date. I have blank power of threes and power of fives so that I can just like move those or copy those to as I'm creating new folders for 2015 and 2016, which months I do that ahead of time. Like I'll put 4 of the blank power of threes or fives into each month's category and kind of create those. I've got my challenge group images all saved in a folder, scripts, Coach Basics training, so I can go right under there, and my whole script for Coach Basics is in there, so I can wake up in the morning, copy, paste, post, copy, paste, post. Same thing with the Coach Sneak Peek, that's another one. And my debt-free group that I do, my clean eating group, my pictures and scripts are in there. And program recommendations, I have something called my team scripts. And this team scripts is something where I have placed a lot of different kinds of scripts, like the day one discount coaches are things you'll see in our team page, weekly follow-ups with challengers, the addressing price script that I use for when somebody wants to know what the price is and what they get. So, I always, at the beginning and the end, I'll personalize things, but then there's some kind of script somewhere in there. And so having it a quick open up my Google Drive, click on this, copy paste, and put it into a messenger makes it really efficient for me to work my business. So staying organized, really the big thing is it just saves you a ton of time. I also have a Shakeology folder, a personal development folder with some of my big takeaways. Those are great things to share and post. But on my Shakeology one, I've got the breakdown of the savings when you're a discount coach versus not, some the benefits of the shake and what ingredients are in the shake. I've got nutrition labels. I've got what I would send to a new Shakeology customer who's a lead from my customer lead program. To let them know, when their shake arrives, the recipe, and some things to know, and this and that. So this is how I stay organized right now. It could be much better, trust me. I'm still in the process of figuring out what works for me, but hopefully these tips have helped you to get going and stay organized. And again, feel free to search on YouTube for organization and Beachbody, and make sure you're finding a top coach and see some of the tips that they're sharing too and what they do, and see if there's something that they're doing that might work better for you as well. All right, ladies, have a great day, and I will talk with you soon.